Welcome to Galaxy Warfare tutorials made by yours unruly, Captain Island. Today I'm going to explain how the combat works in the game. It means I will cover the very basics of fighting, or how it usually goes for new players, finding a target by random encounter, attacking it, healing during the fight, collecting the loot and checking the stats about combat. When you start the game you won't see where an enemy bot or a player might be, so you will most likely find your target by a random encounter. If you already have a deep space scanner installed, and you'll get it by completing the 5th quest, you can hit scan button under your galaxy view from time to time to see if there are some ships around you. My manual scan shows 2 ships, and I know that Tolarian Tracker is actually an enemy boat, while Piano Guy must be a player. How can you know that? Well, player names are usually not so generic and their power, written here as PWR, and hit points, the HP stat, tend to be much lower than bots. However, before attacking the Tolarian Tracker, I'm going to upgrade my ship stats a bit. I want more HP and better attack and defense power. The hull stat determines my ship's HP. Weapons are my attack power and shields are my defense power. For this occasion I will need as much as I can get, or as much as my credits allow. So, to attack a ship I need to click on it in the galaxy view. Upon clicking, the game will open a quick attack window. Your ship and all the needed info is always positioned on the left, while the enemy is on the right, with corresponding information. The middle area is displaying so-called flags, 3 diminishing red boxes with multipliers on each. The combat is basically clicking on any of them, preferably the one with the highest multiplier, and as fast as you can. The 2 most usual resolutions of those clicks is success and failure. In both cases you hit the target, but if it's a failure, your attack will be rather basic or weak, and the game will return to your galaxy view, so you have to click on your enemy again. However, if the result is a success, you'll get the new red boxes to click on. Ideally, you will keep scoring success after success, which will bring higher multipliers after your 10th successive success. However, don't count on it. Of those 3 red flags, one is always a failure, and it's a random one each time. Under the flags, you see the actual attack resolution in more details. How much HP damage you inflicted upon your enemy, and what was your enemy's return fire, which is the amount of HP you will lose as a damage. A bit below those details, you can see how many experience and credits you got by that particular shot. Yes, fighting brings experience and credits. Furthermore, when you enter the combat, when you attack or when you are attacked, your galaxy view will show the red grid lines. These lines mean that you are in combat mode, so to say, and during this time you cannot use warp drive or leave the scene. Of course, you can move the regular way if you want to run away. As you fight, your HP will keep dropping due to return fire from your enemy, and at some point you will have to use some of your hull replacements to bring the HP a bit up. Lots of new players don't watch their HP when they are fighting, so they die a lot when they start. Don't make that mistake. Instead, make it your habit to watch your HP closely while you fight. The HP is displayed both under your ship's image to the left of the combat screen and at the bottom with all your actual stats. So from time to time, click on one of those fast healing buttons you see under the map to the left. The R after repair means regular hull replacements, which replace 10 HP lost, followed by L, the large hull replacements, that replace 50 HP, ending with S, which are the super hull replacements that replenish 250 hit points lost. When you see that your actual HP turned yellow in the stats bar at the bottom, it's definitely a time for some serious hull healing. At that point, I suggest you move away from your enemy at least far enough that you don't see it on your map, and enter My Items screen. From this screen you can use hull replacements in bulk, which is a fast healing. The problem is that your ship is exposed to attacks and players will certainly use that to push their attack. However, while fighting bots, it is not so risky business as long as you are not fighting some much more powerful enemy, like the bot who's inflicting hundreds of HP damage with each shot. Once healed enough, just move back to where your bot is waiting and continue your attack. Of course, bots and players can attack you on their own, not only through return fire. In this particular example, the Turian tracker bot didn't attack me other than through return fire, but if the enemy does shoot you, it will be shown in the console area in red letters. Keep in mind that bots attack on their own rarely, relying mostly on return fire. Players, on the other hand, are active as much as you are, so fighting other players is much harder. Unless, of course, they are offline and lingering on the grid. Finally, upon destroying your enemy, the items you received will be listed under the last successful shot in the combat screen, as well as in your console area. These items automatically go to your ship storage. Also, don't forget to land on your enemy's wreckage. It will give you some fuel, and sometimes even some super hull replacements or titanium. As a matter of basic precaution, I suggest ending your combat with yet another manual scan, just to be sure that there are no new enemies around. You can check the details of any of your fights by going to Account Logs on the left sidebar and clicking Log Battles. This screen will list all the shots you exchange with your enemies, your and enemies' shots, as well as all the corresponding return fire. You can see the changes in HP of both participants and the amount of damage each did or took, and the amount of credits and experience earned by each shot. Finally, each battle does some changes to your profile page, as well as changing the profile page of your enemy. If you check your profile, you will see that you have one more kill and some more battles noted down. Of course, combat is much more than this. It can include actual hunt for the enemy, using other ship systems in combat, and so on. Those are all the topics for more advanced combat tutorial. Thank you for watching this tutorial, yours Captain Island.